Thanks for joining me in my craft room today. I'm going to do a card for you today using On the Horizon stamp set and also the Oceanfront stamp set to do a sunset scene like this. I was only going to buy the On the Horizon, but then I saw cards done by other demonstrators using Oceanfront as well, and it would take longer to do watercolour than it does just to use this stamp set. You'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. Just get rid of that piece of vellum there. So I'm using the Stamparatus, but I will be using the acrylic blocks as well. So I'm starting off with Daffodil Delight ink, and I'm just going to ink up the top of the sky stamp. Just get rid of this piece of washi tape, which I don't need at the moment. So I could obviously just ink up the stamp with the ink pad, but actually it looks really nice, and you can build up the colour as strong as you like. You have more control if you use the blender brush. That's the best way to put it. So this time I'm going to put some of the orange on. I'm going to try the pumpkin pie actually, see what that comes out like. And put more down at the bottom. And it's not coming out very strong yet, but you'll see it'll get stronger. I could have it as a lighter sunset this time. I had quite a dark one last time, but you see the lovely variety of colour that you get in that sky. Just going to put a little bit of Calypso Coral on the bottom. This is our other orange. The Calypso Coral is from our Subtles inks, and the pumpkin pie is from our Regals. So that's a lovely darker colour there. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm actually going to do the sun. So for that, I'm going to, just put that like that. Put that so that it's just on the line, as it were. Other way round, because that's the sticky bit the other side. So I'll just make sure I've got that exactly there. And then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie and do more colour just there. I can just check it and see. I want a little bit more. And that's fine. I'm going to peel that off, and there I've got the sun. The sunset, I should say, or the sun just setting is another way of putting it. Okay, so I'm going to put my oranges away, except for I've just noticed this little part of the sun here needs a little bit more ink. So I'll just carefully put this on again and put a little bit more in that corner. And that's better. Okay, right, so now I'm going to put my oranges away and my yellow, and I'm going to get out the Coastal Cabana. And I've got my C stamp on the top plate, so the Stamparatus comes with 2 plates, which is great. And just put that down like that to make sure it's the right way round. Pick that up and use the grid there. Okay, right, so that's going to be Coastal Cabana, but I also will want, let me just put, I like to put the stamp cases underneath so it doesn't put too much stress on the hinge. I'm going to get my Bermuda Bay Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to do what I call the Pouncing Technique. Different people have different names for it. But I'm going to get first of all, my blue blending brush, and if you push harder, it gets more ink. So I'm just going to do that first of all, and I want that obviously darker. So I'm really going to give that more pressure. And then I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay. If I can just move this so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay Stampin' Right marker, and I'm just going to what's called pouncing. I'm just going to drop it lightly in repeated motion on that stamp, and this hopefully will give us an idea of waves, I hope. We'll see what happens. You see, that sort of just gives you the idea of waves. There we go, and I think I want to do a little bit more. I'm just going to actually ink up the stamp this time a little bit. I think I want it a bit darker. There we go. I'm happy with that. Okay, so hopefully you can see that now. So next up, I'm going to do the birds, and I'm going to do them in black. So I'll just put my Coastal Cabana back, and I'll get my black memento out. And this is the bird stamp from On the Horizon, which is a lovely bird stamp. You could use all the birds, all 7 of them, or you could use just 3 if you wanted to. So I'm just going to put them there. That's great. And I'm not going to use the black anymore because I'm going to move on now to crumb cake. So I've got here on an acrylic block, I've got the rocks. So I'm just going to grab crumb cake ink, and I'm going to use the acrylic block for this. So just ink it up and do it like that. Just get rid of that magnet. And I want to do 3 like that, and possibly 1 more just there. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the top plate around. I'm just going to wipe this off first. And I'm going to put the rocks on, which are here. So if I wanted to make repeats of this card, I could. I would leave that in the same place. And I'll put these little rocks here. And then this big rock over there. And then I just have to do the grasses after that. So that picks up those. And I'm going to use Early Espresso for the rocks, which is here. And I'm just going to apply the ink straight onto the Stamparatus. They're on the plate, so hopefully that'll be fine. And I think I must have used I think I used soft suede there, so that's interesting. These are darker, these ones. So I would like to kind of lighten them up a bit, so I think I'm just going to, on the hoop as it were, grab my soft suede and see if I can just lighten up those rocks a little bit, make them have a little bit of a brown tinge. The Early Espresso is a bit dark, I think. And again, that's the wonderful thing about the Stamparatus, but I don't think I managed it. But so what I'll do is I will stick to the Early Espresso, as I've already started with the rocks in Early Espresso. I need to do the grasses in Early Espresso too. So I'm just going to do one here, some here. And then I'm going to do the tall grasses, which I've got on a block there. And then I'm going to do Relax and Enjoy Your Day, which is here. Just get it out of the box. Relax and Enjoy Your Day. Seem to have missed... oh, here it is. I've got it here. In fact, actually, I think I might just do a thanks. So... this says thanks for everything, but I only want to do the thanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the thanks. And then the trick here is that you get some washi tape and you put it over the rest of the sentiment that you don't want to stamp, so that you're not getting any excess ink that you might have got on that part of the sentiment onto the card. Right, so let's hope this works. There we go. So we just got the thanks, and that's all that I want there. Now, there's a little spotty stamp here, which is really useful for extra texture. So obviously with sand, you have coarse grains and you have smooth sand and so on. So this will just give a little bit of extra texture. A little bit there, perhaps, a little bit there, perhaps, and a little bit over there. There we go. Okay, so that is the finished card front, and you can see how it differs from that one. So every single one that you do will be different. That's what it'll look if it's put onto Bermuda Bay, which I think looks really nice to pick up the Coastal Cabana and the Bermuda Bay there. looks like a nice beach scene. So that one says thanks, and that one says relax and enjoy your day. So I hope that you do relax and enjoy your day. I'm doing a class using this bundle the week after next. So the last Thursday in February and the first Wednesday in March will be in person, and the last Thursday in February will be online. So contact me for details. We'll be doing a card like that using the Designer Series paper and the bundle as well. We'll be doing a card like that. We'll be doing a fun fold card like this, which opens up using a sheet, the 6x6 sheet of Designer Series paper. And then, because I only had so much Designer Series paper, you'll be doing one of these. So these are slimline cards, so they're the same design, but it just shows you the variety of different cards you can get from the different Designer Series papers in the pack. It's amazing how different each one looks. So I really hope that you enjoy this bundle, this stamp set, or the whole bundle, or even the suite as well. And thanks for joining me today. Have a good day. Bye.